Hey everyone, it's Anne from the Nurture Centre. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about infant sleep. So I'm talking about sleep in the first year or so, certainly in the early months. So what happens with a baby is generally they have a really good feed. Their tummy feels nice and full. They've had that sucking, they've had the closeness with mum, and they drift off to sleep. So then often what happens is we're told, especially after a few weeks, some time goes by and we're told that we shouldn't be allowing the baby to fall asleep, or they probably haven't had enough to eat and we need to wake them up, we need to burp them, we need to teach them to fall asleep in their own bed, all of these sort of ideas. So really what a baby needs is to feel safe and secure and well fed. That is what puts them off to sleep. So we don't want to interrupt that whole process. So if your baby is gaining well, it is not necessary generally to wake them up to feed them more. I've also talked about burping. You can watch my burping video and see what I have to say about that. But generally, having a feed, making sure you don't disrupt what's just happened, your baby's drifted off to sleep, happy as. So the other thing that often happens is people want to put their babies down really quickly. So babies actually drift off to sleep in a light sleep so that pretty much anything will wake them up if you start rustling them around, moving them, burping them, laying them down on their backs in a bed. So the best thing, if you do want to try to put your baby down, hold them for about 20 minutes first. Just across your lap is great. If you're feeding in that nice laid back position I talked about, that's great. Up over the shoulder, just hold them, wait about 20 minutes, and then maybe try putting them down. Some babies still aren't going to be okay with that. That doesn't necessarily mean they were still hungry. It just means that you've put them down away from you, and in their little brain that doesn't have, their cortex hasn't fired yet, they don't have the ability to think. They're all instinctual. So instinctually they're thinking, yikes, I'm all on my own here. This isn't very safe. I can't survive without my mum or my dad or somebody holding me. So that is generally what causes them to wake up, not necessarily hunger. So really understanding that this is a normal part of being a baby and that it's different for every baby. So you might have a baby who actually does lay down quite easily and go to sleep, and that's great. But your friend might have a different sort of baby. You also have great variance in how much sleep a baby needs. So one healthy, happy, growing, thriving newborn might only need about 10 or 11 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, where another might need as much as 16 or 18. So if we're trying to just make a blanket statement about how much sleep a baby needs, how they're best going to fall asleep and all these things, it really doesn't do anybody any favors. So recognizing that all babies are different is a good start, and recognizing if your baby is one who doesn't like to be put down to sleep or doesn't stay asleep and prefers to be held and fed off to sleep, then that's really normal for your baby. And what we need to do then is look at how to look after yourself when you're caring for a baby. So I hope you got some ideas from that, and that those of you who are struggling maybe can realize that it's actually a normal part of being a newborn. But if you really do want some help, feel free to contact me. Always happy to talk about any of these kinds of issues. Okay? Have a great night. Thanks.